Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Now, if this is your first time here, my name's FiddlinJonny and it's my Fiddle channel and magic product review. And before I do any magic product review, I always do a quick fiddle tune. And sometimes I like to make it tied into the product or the person who created. This is created by Joel Anthony from Australia originally, and well, I think Australian folks will understand this tune. All right, there you go. For everyone out there in Australia, this also goes out to you, Phil. You know which Phil you are. All right, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Today, I know you really want to hear more about what am I reviewing? I'm reviewing Thougth Extraction by Joel Anthony. Now, Joel Anthony is relatively new onto the scene. He's had a couple of other releases, someone you probably should keep an eye out for. Looking forward to his creative work. But today we'll focus on this. I think there are some folks who are really going to be interested in this, and it's one of those releases that sort of comes out of nowhere and suddenly you go, oh, that's really worth a look. So stick around and we'll get right into it. Let's get straight into Though Extraction by Joel Anthony. What is Though Extraction? Let's be very simple and straightforward. It is a peak device that is built into one of these small envelopes. So you can have somebody write something down on a business card or a billet and put it in here, or have them pick a playing card, put it in here, and you will have immediate access to that information. From there, however you decide that you want to do that reveal is up to you. But once you have a peek and you know information, that is a powerful place to be in with a great tool to be able to do that. That's what it is, which means you can do mind reading, ESP, prediction effects. You can do drawing duplications. You can do anything with a one ahead routine is awesome, specifically with this, I think. You could even, with this one, do double writing effects. So that's in essence what you can do with this. And I should begin with, when I got this and I opened it up, I was a little underwhelmed. It is very analog. There is no magnets here. There are no threads. It is just wonderful pieces of paper constructed in a way that allows you to get a peek, and to get a clean peek at that. And there's nothing that's like, oh, is that gonna break? No, not gonna happen. The only thing, over time, these will probably get worn out and maybe a little grubby. You can purchase these, as many as you want, and make additional ones, because I'll talk about that as well. So I was underwhelmed at first. And so when I first opened it up, I went, oh, wow, that's a pretty easy peek. Okay, I get it. Thought about it a little bit, maybe a day or two later, watched the tutorial, and still went, okay, all right, I like this. I have a better understanding now. And it wasn't really until I spent a little bit more time with it and started putzing with it and rewatched the tutorial that I had a greater appreciation than I did initially for the design specifically of this envelope for you. I have them all spread here and I'm trying to find which one's the gimmicked one. A little hard to tell just by a quick look. But this here is the gimmicked one. And it's designed in such a way that I think on a casual look you won't understand what the value is, but as you utilize it and you watch the tutorial and you listen to the stuff that Joel's sharing on there, you'll understand, I think, better in terms of why this is such a, there's a lot of thought that's been put into this. So I think what it does is it creates this beautiful elegance for a tool that allows you to quickly get a peek at whatever somebody has written down. and put it into the envelope. All right, let's talk about what are you going to get. All right, so you're going to get 4 envelopes in the package. These are 4 normal envelopes, all right? In addition to the 4 envelopes, you're going to get 1 gimmicked envelope. Looks just like the rest, except for it is gimmicked. In addition to that, you're going to get a couple tutorials in separate videos. They're on Vimeo, so if you have an account with Vimeo, you can download them. The first one is 13 minutes in length. It's got Joel Anthony, the creator of this, and Joel is just going to walk through how do you make the gimmick. So at a certain point, if you want more than 1 gimmick, because you want one in a performance case, you want one with your everyday carry, you want another one carried in your wallet, you will be able to make these and they'll look exactly the same, and I think you'll really appreciate it. In addition to that, Joel has created a link to Amazon so that you can purchase these envelopes. And once you purchase these envelopes, you can just make more of them to match. Simple as that, which I really appreciate it. So you'll get the first 13 minutes, how to make the gimmick. Next, you'll get a separate link from there for a 27-minute tutorial done by Jason Varga. And if you don't know Jason Varga is an Australian mentalist, and I know that he's worked close with Joel, and he is going to walk through his routine on there. To be honest, I was a little underwhelmed. It basically looks like it's filmed at home, maybe in a kitchen or something of that nature, with probably a home camera or phone camera, which is fine because quality these days are great on those sorts of things. But essentially in that roughly 30 minutes, he walks through his routine, performing it to camera, and then breaking down the methods. I think what I would have loved to have seen is a full performance with a live audience. But given that it's not a fatal flaw, it just is a great idea in terms of a routine that you can do once you have a peak. You're going to get an additional video. It is done by Joel Anthony. It's 5 minutes in length, and Craig Petty has submitted an idea and routine, and Joel's going to go through Craig Petty's routine on it, and in that one it utilizes just 1 envelope, whereas in the Jason Varga version it uses I think up to 5 envelopes total. That's sort of up to you in terms of how many envelopes you want to use for performance, and you'll learn that in your tutorials. So those are the things that you get. You get essentially those videos. Maybe there'll be more added over time, but we should talk about how the instructions. I think overall the best part is Joel's walking you through how to make the gimmick. It's so simple, everyone will be able to make it themselves. If you don't like arts and crafts, trust me, you can make it in 5 minutes. It's that simple. And if you don't, you get one anyway that's already ready to go, that arrives right in the envelope that you get. All right. I was going to talk about how the gimmick is, but I think I've mentioned most of it. The things that I haven't touched about is the subtlety of the build here. And it's clear that Joel has taken the time, and obviously put in the time, to utilize this as a tool. And I think on first glance you will not notice why certain parts of it work so good, but they do because of the simple things that he's done with how he built the gimmick. I think that's all I can say. It's just analog, but it's really good. And I think it's shocking at how easy it is to get a peak. As an example, all I have to do is this, and I've got the peak right now, all done. It's that simple, and can easily be done in front of your spectator without them having any clue at all. When folks are asking, especially folks who are beginners, will I be able to do this? The answer is yes. You will absolutely be able to do this if this is your very first peak device that you've purchased. There's no fidgety moves. There's no sort of things like worrisome about angle issues, those sorts of things. You wouldn't want something exactly at your sides, but other than that, yes, not a problem. I think for folks who are experienced and like peak devices, you probably will like this just because of the ease of it. If you're a professional or a hobbyist and been doing stuff for a long time, the tutorial is going to suit you fine because it gives you the bare bones, some ideas, and you can run with it. If you're brand new and you don't have lots of routines, you might fumble a little bit. I do think, forgot to mention this. There's a booklet that's involved. Joel Anthony has written a booklet. It's about 8 pages in length, I think, something like that. This is going to be a great tool for you because he's going to run through a routine on here that utilizes a one-ahead principle, and I think is a really good routine on there. So, if you're new, I would say, in the first peak device, go get Corinda's 13 Steps to Mentalism. Read everything in there related to peaks and reveals, and you'll be well on your way. I think my clear takeaway for this, it's a great peak device. Simple, elegant, beautiful. Easy to use. Would love more performances, but not a fatal flaw. I think it's going to be great for any working professional, hobbyist, or beginner, quite frankly. I think mentalists are going to like this more than anybody else. Obviously, I think this fits well for parlor, but you could do this in close-up as well. So it's got a nice versatility there for both close-up and for parlor. I think if you're somebody who just performs at the pub with your mates, you'll like it just as much as well because you can utilize it in that setting. Just throw these into a pocket and you're ready to go. Simple as that. All right, what does this cost? In the United States, it's $33. I think it's a very reasonable cost for what you are getting. So that is the cost of it. All right, I think that's it. I hope that's helpful. I think at the end of the day, there's so many peak devices out there. Sort of picking which one works best for you is probably the challenge. I don't use a lot of peak devices that are built into wallets. No particular reason, I just have not found myself gravitating towards those. I tend to really like billets. This here is a peak device that I built myself based upon, I'm forgetting, if you go back to some previous review, you'll see me utilizing those, and I utilize that as my peak device a lot. I am now going to be utilizing this, the gimmicked one right here in front of you, for my peak device, and start to see which one I prefer overall. All right, I hope that's helpful. If you have a peak device, tell me what your favorite peak device is, and tell me what your least favorite peak device is as well, because I think that's helpful for the community, because it maybe helps steer folks away from stuff like, you may not like this as much, and the ones that you do like. If you have this, leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about it as a peak device as well. All right, that's it. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. I really appreciate everyone who has, and thank you for hitting that like button. It's really, really appreciated. All right, I know we're in the holiday season. I hope everyone has a great holiday, however you celebrate it. So wishing you all a happy holiday season. I'm FiddlinJonny, and remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.